Marty, on the journalism front, many people are monitoring. Right now, Bloomberg is monitoring the situation. Translate that for our audience.
It means we're, looking at how the Saudis respond to these calls for transparency. And right now, we're still participating in the conference, and we will monitor the situation and see if it changes.
What I noticed within all the reporting is the decisions being made by business people. And of course, that involves Bloomberg and the terminals, the acclaimed terminals, one sitting right in front of me of that. But I noticed James Dimon has to make a decision. It's not about earnings this morning. And Mr. Schwartzman of Blackstone have to make a decision. Sir Richard Branson made a decision. Yes. Steve Case made a decision. Tell us what we've learned about how executives are choosing.
Well, it's interesting. There's the short-term issue and the visibility surrounding what appears to be the murder of a journalist, or at least the mysterious disappearance of a journalist, and the longer-term issues about doing business in Saudi Arabia. And you have to figure out a way to balance that. It's in this days of instant media and social media, the furor that has arisen over this case has made it a very difficult decision for businessmen to either make that choice to participate, or do you worry about the long-term business relationships?
There's also the relationship with Turkey as well. It's been a tumult for Turkey the last 2, 3, 4 years. As you said with Mark Champion, these are two strong-minded governments, authoritarian leaders, and this is really a moment where they're clashing.
And it's fascinating how the Turkish government is basically giving the Saudi Arabian leadership room to become transparent by dripping out information on this case day after day. And today, of course, there's a report that there's audio and video that proves their point.
Yeah, and we've seen that reporting here in the last 18 hours, maybe even 12 hours as well. I want to go back to one more journalism question, and this goes to Marty Schenker and to Norm Pearlstein, now advising the Los Angeles Times. I sat with a dinner with you at the Waldorf Astoria about journalists getting murdered. I mean, and folks, let me get this straight. Me, not real journalists. Schenker, real journalists. This is serious stuff, and it's been a bad year for journalism.
It has. The Reporters Without Borders, on the board on which I sit, points out that there have been more murders of journalists so far this year than all of last year. So it's a very serious situation, and one that really can't be tolerated for freedom of expression throughout the world.
Marty Schenker, thank you so much. He is our Chief Content Officer. Of course, the Future Investment Initiative is what we're speaking of in Saudi Arabia. Bloomberg Media is among organizations also sponsoring the event, and we are monitoring this situation.